If you're thinking about opening your own business, then this video is for you. I have opened a few businesses in my life and most of them failed. But wait, that's exactly why you should listen to me in this video. I bet there's tons of motivational content out there telling you inspirational things and how you will make it and become an entrepreneur and such. But trust me, you are going to fail most of the times. And that's why you should prepare for failure. In 2022, I closed down a yoga studio in Sweden, and that was the best decision I made that year. Let's say I failed in running a yoga studio business, but I failed successfully because I learned these 8 valuable lessons that I can bring with me and go on to my next business. So hear me out, and number 1, 5, and 8 are the most important. Pay attention. Number 1, the most important thing, that is, you have to set up your cut-loss point. And do this even before you start your business. You should prepare for failure. Of course, not many people want to talk about failure, and when people want to open a business, they even try to avoid talking about failure so that they can keep their spirit high. But let's face the truth, most businesses failed. Before I opened the yoga studio, I already thought about my cut-loss point. When would I pack up and withdraw from the business? And I kind of made a vow to myself that I would close the business and stop when the yoga studio started sucking money from me instead of generating money and reinvest into itself. That was my most important stop signal. Another cut-loss point for me was that I would close down the business when I start behaving like a bitch, losing compassion and kindness to others because of the stress that come from the business. So you set up your own cut-loss point even before you start. I chose these as my cut-loss point because I knew that I don't have that much money to throw away and that my stress tolerance is not high. Knowing your cut-loss point, knowing when to pack up and leave, will prevent you from spending so much time and effort and mental health into something that doesn't work. Alright, number 2, choose your partner carefully. And I did, fortunately, thank God. Thanks to choosing my partner carefully, I could withdraw from the business very smoothly and without financial loss. But even if you have problems with your partner, still go back to the number 1, cut-loss point. When it's time to leave, you have to pack up and leave. Cut loss and escape when the stop signals show up. Number 3, you have to be the person who understands yourself the most. No business expert or consultant can understand your situation as much as you do. Take all advice with a grain of salt, including my advice. And I'm telling you this because before I opened the yoga studio, I spent a long time going to meet a business consultant, and he was excellent. But eventually he was not me. And only I would understand what I want and my weakness and strength, and would trust my gut feeling. Number 4 is quite important, but not as important as number 5, so stay with me. So number 4, sometimes what you want is not what your customers want. Say this out loud whenever you plan to buy things because you think you're buying this for your business, for your customers. No, maybe your customer don't even need it. For example, when I opened the studio, I always felt this urge to buy interiors like mirrors and furnitures and such. Luckily, I didn't have that much money to throw outside the window, but I always felt the urge to buy something until my own customers told me that they like the studio empty like this and they would not want to see themselves in the mirror or have many things in the studio. They like the minimalistic look of the studio. So hold your money really tight and don't rob yourself. Buying a bunch of unnecessary things, thinking that you are doing this for the business or you're buying this for the customers, they don't need those things. Expenses don't necessarily mean investment. Money is the blood of your business, so hold back spending as long as you can, and if possible, don't even spend. Before spending your hard-earned money or anything, take a pause and ask yourself if it's necessary, if it's going to bring you money back, and if there's a way to get it done cheaper or even for free. Alright, number 5 is very important. Not only money is counted as expense. You have to put your time, your effort, and especially your mental capacity or mental health on the scale. Running a business on your own is more mentally challenging than you thought. Back then, I thought it would be easy job if I just teach 1 or 2 yoga classes per day. Each yoga class is only like 60 minutes, so how hard can it be? Wrong. Because I spend the whole day getting nothing done. Because in my brain, there's a block of time at 6 p.m. that I'm going to have to teach that yoga class. Running the studio involves a lot more work than just teaching the yoga class. I had to do other tasks too, like cleaning up the studio, like running a website, a Facebook page, and an Instagram account, and doing marketing and sales. And you know, posting on social media itself is a giant task. It was actually such a relief for me when I closed down the studio and withdraw from social media, because I didn't have to show up on social media. I retreated into a private account where I just post whenever I want and whatever I want, and I didn't even have to think about the caption or the reach or the likes. But if you run a business these days, it's like a must that you have to have a social media plan, and that is very hard work. So again, expense not only your money, not only your effort, but also your mental health. Take this into account when you plan your business. We move on to number 6. The lesson that I learned after I closed down the studio is that I will not open a yoga studio again. And this leads us to number 7. I will not open any business that requires a physical location again. Why? Well, I would need to make another video to talk about this, so make sure you subscribe to me. And now we go to number 8. I think this is very important too. Actually, it's together with number 1. It will make you unstoppable. So number 8, you have to actually do it and fail to know what you want and what you don't want. If you don't do it, you will end up spending your whole life wondering, what if I have done it? And that's not a great feeling to live with. If I didn't open the yoga studio, I would have always wondered, what if I open a yoga studio? But thanks to opening it and then closing it, now I'm very sure that I do not want to open a yoga studio. So I can move on and do other businesses that I will succeed in. So go back to number 1, find your cut-loss point and go for your dream. Do it, knowing that you have a cut-loss point in front of you. When the stop signals show up, you can quit, prepare for your failure, and keep going with your dream. And I wish you the best of luck. So why won't I open a yoga studio or a business with a physical location again? Well, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to make the next videos talking about that.